Thank you, Madam Chairman. I thank members for their suggestions and questions. Some of these have been addressed by Minister Grace Fu. I will now focus on other suggestions and questions raised. There are many more opportunities now for Singaporeans to meet and marry non-Singaporeans. A large number of Singaporeans have married non-Singaporeans in recent years. Most would want to seek residency and citizenship for their spouses. A number of members asked about the granting of citizenship and immigration facilities to foreign spouses. Madam, we want to facilitate such couples to remain together in Singapore and for them to form stable families who will contribute in a positive way to Singapore. Our policies for granting long-term immigration facilities to foreign spouses are intended to support this. Foreign spouses will generally be granted a long-term visit pass in the first instance. Factors that we consider for granting LTVP include the ability of the sponsor to financially support the family and good conduct of both the sponsor and the applicant. Beyond these requirements, a foreign spouse will be eligible to be considered for LTVP plus if the married couple has at least one Singaporean child from their marriage. For those without a Singaporean child, we will look at other factors such as the duration of marriage. A marriage of at least 3 years will be considered more favorably. This is information which is available on our website. But each application will be considered on its own merits. As members are aware, LTVP Plus, valid for 3 years in the first instance and up to 5 years in subsequent renewals, grants healthcare subsidies for inpatient services similar to what permanent residents get. LTVP Plus holders only need a letter of consent from the Ministry of Manpower to work in Singapore. So LTVP and LTVP Plus holders are not subject to any foreign worker levy, nor do they count towards a company's dependency ratio. Thus, this makes it much easier for them to find employment in Singapore, help to stabilize the family, contribute to family income, and therefore helps to support them forming stable families. As at 31st December 2012, there were 11,736 foreign spouses of Singapore citizens on LTVPs, including the LTVP Plus. 4,200 have been granted the LTVP Plus since it was introduced in April 2012. Let me assure Mr. Kumar that the LTVP Plus in no way disadvantages a foreign spouse's application for permanent residence or Singapore citizenship. LTVP Plus is meant to provide more certainty and a higher level of social and work benefits for spouses who might otherwise have remained on an LTVP, as they have not yet met the requirements for PR. As their marriages and family situations stabilize and they become increasingly integrated, more of them will qualify to become permanent residents and eventually naturalize as citizens. And over the past 5 years, 4,100 foreign spouses were granted PR every year, and a further 4,100 took up citizenship each year. In assessing foreign spouses' applications for PR and Singapore citizenship, their family ties to Singaporeans are taken into consideration. ICA considers factors such as length of marriage, duration of stay in Singapore, and whether the couple has children from the marriage. Citizens who sponsor their foreign spouses for PR or citizenship applications will also be asked to show that they are able to support them. Apart from those who are applying on the basis of family ties, we also consider other applicants who seek residency or citizenship. A calibrated level of suitable immigrants will help keep our citizen population stable. Several members asked about the criteria for granting PR and Singapore citizenships in this more general case. Our immigration framework has been tightened significantly since late 2009. All PR and citizenship applications are carefully evaluated on a comprehensive and stringent set of criteria to assess the applicant's ability to contribute and integrate well into our society, as well as their commitment to sinking roots here. This includes factors such as the individual's length of stay in Singapore, family profile, economic contributions, qualifications, and age. And we also consider applicants' family ties to Singaporeans. Mr. C. Teo Chee Hean, Mr. Ang Wei Neng, Mr. Zainal Sapari, and Associate Professor Fatima Latif raised suggestions on how to improve our immigration framework, including having Singaporeans vouch for or support a person who applies for PR or Singapore citizenship, or considering factors such as being able to speak English or being involved in the community. And these are all possible ways to encourage integration and indicate how well an applicant has adapted to Singaporean norms, values, and lifestyle. And we will study these suggestions and are also open to other ideas as we continue to fine-tune our framework. We should continue to adopt a holistic framework for assessing applications and remain open to diversity, even as we do more to encourage and help immigrants integrate better into Singapore and adapt to our norms and practices. Mr. Zainal Sapari and Mr. Faisal Manap asked about the proportion of Malays in our population. We recognize the need to maintain the racial balance in Singapore's population to preserve the character of our society and our social stability. The proportion of Malays in our resident population has indeed fallen slightly, as the number of permanent residents that have been given out they are not in proportion with the racial composition of Singapore. However, the proportion of Malays in our citizen population has been stable. In granting citizenship, we have been careful to maintain this racial balance. Hence, Malays comprise 15.1% of our citizen population in 2010, similar to the 14.9% a decade ago in 2000. And one of the reasons that this has been possible is because the higher birth rates of Malays compared to other major ethnic groups have helped to support the racial balance. Or put another way, the other racial groups have been having very low TFRs. While our total fertility rate fell below the replacement rate of 2.1 since 1976 overall, the TFR for Malays fell below replacement level from 2004. The TFR for Malays is still higher than the other ethnic groups at 1.69 in 2012 compared to 1.18 for the Chinese and 1.14 for the Indians. The Malay population will therefore continue to grow over the next few decades. We hope that the new marriage and parenthood package will help uplift the birth rates towards replacement rate. Mr. Zainal Sapari and Mr. Faisal Manap also asked about attracting more Malay immigrants. We do have an inflow of Malay immigrants. Some are spouses. There are also Malays from regional countries working and studying in Singapore. And we welcome more who are suitable to take up residency and citizenship here. We hope that they will find Singapore an attractive place. I also look forward to suggestions and ideas from members on how we can make Singapore a more attractive destination for Malay immigrants. Mr. Pritam Singh and Ms. Sylvia Lim raised the issue of transparency in our immigration policies and data. I had earlier explained the parameters of our immigration framework and described the main factors considered when assessing applications. But beyond that, we do not reveal the specific criteria when approving applications. Applications are assessed on a holistic basis, taking all factors into consideration, and we would not want to encourage individuals to tailor their applications to specific criteria to artificially increase their likelihood of approval. And most countries adopt the same practice. They have eligibility criteria for applications, but they do not reveal specific details of how they evaluate different criteria when making approval decisions. Mr. Zainal Sapari and Mr. Pritam Singh raised the examples of the various calculators in Australia and naturalization eligibility worksheets in the US and Canada. These are tools to help applicants assess their own eligibility for citizenship application. But applicants are still subject to a stringent set of criteria before they are granted citizenship. And there are factors such as good moral character, and which are factors for assessment, and how precisely they are assessed are often not made public. I should point out that in Canada, for example, citizenship applications are processed, and when citizenship applications are processed, such processing can take from 2 years or more. And for some categories, I'm told that a processing backlog of up to 8 years exists, and this was in November of 2012. So there are clearly some frictions in the system as well. Ms. Silver Lim also requested for increased transparency of our population data. Much of the information and statistics pertinent to population issues are already available in the public domain. The Department of Statistics website has key annual indicators on population and puts out annual publications including population trends and statistics on marriages and divorces. Population statistics are also included in the monthly digest of Statistics Singapore and in the yearbook of statistics. And the National Population and Talent Division releases the Population in Brief publication every year to provide the public with relevant information on Singapore's population landscape. This is the 2012 version. The Ministry of Manpower also puts out statistics on the workforce. In the last year, we have also released a significant amount of data and analysis related to population issues in the form of occasional papers on citizen population scenarios and marriage and parenthood trends. Ms. Lim and Mr. Singh may wish to visit the resources section of our population microsite. I have with me a sample, not a complete sample, of all the population data that we have actually released just in the past 1 year. So there is actually quite a lot of data made available in the public domain. These publications are easily available in the Parliament Library and through online access on Parliament's or the individual's own computers. Hence, much of the information and statistics pertinent to population issues are already available in the public domain. In some cases, we provide aggregated information or data instead of a more detailed breakdown, because it may not be in our interest to do so. It may have implications on specific groups of persons or create sensitivities in the countries of origin of those who are working here or those who have migrated here. For example, while we seek to diversify the sources of foreign workers in Singapore, it may not be in our interest to provide a detailed breakdown of the numbers and countries of origin of workers in each industry. For similar reasons, we provide data on the number of immigrants by broad categories of the regions they have come from, but have not provided the detailed breakdown of immigrants by specific countries of origin. I think members may understand that there may be some sensitivities with regard to this. Members have from time to time asked for specific data. We will be happy to consider these requests and endeavour to provide the information, bearing in mind the considerations that I described earlier. Besides population statistics, we have also been open with our population policies, as set out in the Population White Paper. The Population White Paper recommends a significant slowdown by about half in population and foreign worker growth from past rates. And, as Ms. Tan Shu Shan has pointed out, businesses have expressed concern about what this slowdown in foreign labour means for them. We are taking many measures to raise resident labour force participation. The government will also continue to support businesses to raise productivity, upgrade workers, automate, improve processes, and redesign jobs so as to reduce their reliance on foreign labour. And these are parts of our efforts to restructure the economy to move towards quality growth by productivity and innovation. We recognize that this transition will be challenging, and we will help businesses to do so. My colleague, the Minister for Finance, had announced a set of measures in his recent budget speech to help companies restructure. And these include wage credit, productivity and improvement credit bonus, corporate income tax rebate, and so forth. But these are meant to help our companies, especially SMEs, to cope with the transition. Ms. Tan made some useful suggestions on how civil servants can have a deeper understanding of business concerns and practices, and we will consider these. We will also not let up on our efforts to ensure that benefits of our policies, such as better job opportunities and wages, flow through to Singaporeans. We will press on with ongoing infrastructure improvements, especially in housing and transport, and we will also review policies to ensure inclusive and quality growth that benefits and improves Singaporeans' well-being. We will also continue engaging Singaporeans on population and its related issues, including through the Our Singapore Conversation and other forums. And, as the Prime Minister has stated, we will conduct a midterm review of our population policies towards 2020. With the government, businesses and Singaporeans working together, I am confident that we can build a sustainable population for a dynamic Singapore. Thank you, Madam.
Sylvia Lim.